Hey, what's up, guys? It's Huntsman with ArenaGaming, and today I got Gamekitty on the line. He is one of the top players in Arena. He is ranked #1 in Masters. So, Gamekitty, why don't you say what's up?
Hey, how's it going there? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So today he is going to give us some tips on how to play like a pro, and I got a few questions that I'm gonna ask him, and then later on he's gonna share whatever else he would like to say, any advice. So, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. Okay, question number 1. What's your favorite champion?
Um, it's gonna be Harlequin, I think. I'm a big fan of Harlequin.
Really?
Um,
Why is that?
well, first of all, because he hits so hard, but he's not just an offensive hard hitter. You can use him defensively to sort of shore up your side because nobody wants to move the character in range of Harlequin.
Right,
And
because you
you
get
can
devastated pretty much.
Yeah, anyone moves close to him and they're probably going to die. But you can also use him to distract people because if you move him up to their ship, everyone panics and throws everything at him.
Yeah, kind
So
of,
it's,
kind of like me when we play.
yeah, he can use him for everything. And in fact,
Yeah,
everyone sees a Harlequin.
yeah, I
Okay,
agree. He's probably he's one of the stronger champions, that's for sure. What
definitely.
do you think of Martel though? Because he has a pretty good amount of damage too. Once you get the 2 ether charges.
Yeah, Martel. I really like Martel. But more because of his ultimate skill. I really
Uh
like that you can use him from anywhere on the board to just hit the ship.
right.
Like I said, I'd use him more, but I don't like the slow movement. Not a
Yeah,
big fan
I,
of
I
that.
agree. I agree. It takes forever for him to get anywhere.
Yeah, but if you use him with the right shells, then you can, I like to use him towards the end of a game to kill a game off.
Ah, okay, I see. All right. Well, speaking of that, actually, let's move on to question number 2. What shell do you like the most? Your #1 shell that you always have, you know,
Yeah.
always packing.
Well, always packing. I don't know, because that'd be giving away secrets, wouldn't it? But no, it's got to be Shockwave.
Shagway. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, any shell that can one hit kill, anyone is, it's got to be pretty high up there. And I mean, it's only cheap. It's not an expensive shell,
True.
but you can take out one potentially. I mean, if you can anticipate what people are going to do, you can potentially knock out two champions in one move. Um, it's very very strong.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I really
It
like
really
Shockwave.
pisses off your opponent too. I mean,
It does. It's because
happens
I've
to
had
me.
it done that many times to me that I think right, I'm going to do it to other people now.
All right. Moving on to question number 3. Any specific champion composition that you play? Your 3 champions that you like the most.
Ooh, well, obviously Harlequin's in there. I like Aurora. I really like Aurora
I
as
I could
well.
tell because every time we play, you always use her. You always
Yeah,
put her out front.
she's normally my opening move is Aurora goes forward, and then
Ah,
depending on what your response is, Harlequin normally comes out next. Then for the third one, it it varies from map to map. Like New Detroit, I'll tend to use Bug because you can charge him up quickly on the two charge pads next to each other.
oh, okay.
Um, Whereas somewhere like the Dome Argus with the death square in the middle, I'll probably use Butcher for that one.
Right, because with the butcher, you have such an advantage. You control the map pretty much.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you can get him on the charge square straight away, and then you can control vertical and horizontal right
Right.
around that middle row.
I used to do that all the time when the game came out. It was the funnest thing to do.
Yeah, I think people are getting wise to it now. Not so many people hang out on that middle row anymore.
I know. Or if they do, they put their butcher on the same tile, so that way you
Yeah,
gotta sacrifice your butcher if you wanna, if you
yeah.
wanna pull someone. But
Sometimes it's worth it though.
it is, it is. All right, question number 4. Do you have an opening strategy? Is there a specific strategy that you do on each map, or is it just random?
I've got sort of a predefined idea of what I want to do on each map. But again, a lot of it depends on what opening moves the opponent makes. As a general rule, I'll sort of try to look to maybe anticipate the second or third champion where they're going to come on the board, which you can usually tell from where people leave gaps because people tend to leave gaps and then fill them up with champions.
Right.
So I'll sort of look to maybe try and knock out the champion who spawned last. before he actually gets to make a move.
Ah, okay, okay. So pretty much, so you respond to what the opponent spawns, right? Like to
Yeah,
what champion you're going to spawn.
yeah. I mean, like I say, if you move, if you move someone into range of Aurora, so that I know I can hit you straight away, then I'll tend to sort of throw Harlequin out near Aurora so that he can also move close and get a hit in.
Oh
And generally,
yeah, I know that, dude. I witnessed that firsthand. I mean, I see you do it all the time to me.
but yeah, I mean, generally, I'll try if I can to look to knock out one of the champions before he gets to make a move,
Okay.
and then just sort of try and keep my champions together and apply pressure that way.
Right,
Because once you lose one, you've lost a turn already.
exactly. And if you're in a really good position, you could actually like that spawn, like that spawn blocking thing,
Yeah.
where you pretty much knock off each champion that's next in line. So they have to keep spawning champions.
Yeah, and they end
Oh,
up not having to go.
I hate it. I hate it when that happens. Especially on the new map. On the new
Yeah,
map,
it happens
I
a lot
get
on New
destroyed on
Detroit.
that map.
Yeah, it does seem to happen quite a lot there. Feels very, very claustrophobic, that map.
It does, because you have to choose one. I like to use bait and switch on the new map. That way I could get to the other side if I need to, or like switch champions with the other teammate or the other opponent. You know.
Yeah, it can mess you up a little bit. I tend to like to use sort of the people like Bug and maybe Mary to a certain extent. I don't really use Mary that much, but so you don't have to get stuck into the, it doesn't get all tight. If you've got Bug out there and you've got Mary, they can hit from afar.
Right, just stay in the back and just do some
Yeah.
damage. All right, so number 5, favorite shell comp. So all 3 shells. This is gonna be interesting.
That's definitely telling.
I mean, don't tell us your secrets. Just tell us what you like. I mean,
Yeah, generally I tend to prefer sort of the lower cost shells. So you're talking things like Shockwave, the quick charge.
right, the ether blowout. I think.
Yeah, Ether Blood, the Scorch, healing shells, bait and switch, things like that. The low cost shells. I mean, the thinking behind it really is that the sooner you can get your shells into play, the sooner you can start to turn the battle in your favor. And if you can push that home quickly, sort of thing, before they get a chance to use any of the more expensive shells, or
Right,
even before they get a chance to use the cheaper shells on you.
Exactly. So you're already in an advantage before they even get to use their shells.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it sometimes where sort of your opponent, you tend to go too far all out and you go all out attack and they get charged to 10 really quickly, and that's when I'm sort of at the weakest, because that's when they've got the more powerful shells that can come into play. The chaos that hits everyone for 3. That's a very dangerous shell. It's just it takes so long to charge, and I don't like. The only way to charge it quickly is to let them attack your ship, and I don't really like doing that.
But also,
So
if you attack their ship, though, they get a charge or their champions.
Well, yeah, that as well. So the problem is you can't overcommit and attack too much. But no, generally I sort of prefer the cheaper ones, the cheaper shells, because you can bring them into play much quicker.
So actually, speaking of shells, I actually got a new question for you. What shell don't you like? What's the one shell that you really don't like that you never use?
Ooh, the one that I never use. I'm not a big fan of the 10 charge. The one that hits everyone for 3.
Oh, the chaos one.
Cha-
Is that what it is?
Chaos is the one that hits everyone for 3, and the one.
Oh, there's
hits
another
all
one
your
that hits
champions
like
for 3.
your champions and the opponents, right?
Yeah, there's them too. I'm not a big fan of either of them. I don't think I've ever used them. I've tried to use them, but I can't seem to, because I tend to focus on killing one champion rather than weakening all of them. It doesn't really work for me. So yeah, those ones are probably the ones that I tend not to use. Although in saying that, after this, I'm probably gonna have to start using them now.
Yeah. But that like you said, that one shell that does, I forgot what it's called, but the one shell that does damage to everyone on the board for 3,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. Right?
I don't like the idea of weakening my own champions.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
either. Like, that's just like it doesn't even help, because you're making yourself weaker as well, unless they're about to die.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, a couple of times I've had it whereby I've overcommitted and I've got I've got a lot of hits in on their ship and they're quite low on health, but all my champions are low, and they use that once, kill all 3 of my champions straight away, and then you lose 3 turns and you really back on the defensive. So it does have its uses, but like I say, when you play to try and kill one champion at a time, it doesn't really. I'd much rather use the single target
Right.
3 damage ones.
Okay. So moving on, question number 6. What do you think of the new champions, Martel and Baron?
Well, like I say, Martel is definitely. I do like him. Like I say, you bring him out towards the end of the game when you're trying to shore things up and just
Right.
let him charge his ultimate skill on its own and finish things off.
Okay. So do you play more on the like defensive, offensive, or
I tend to use him more on the defensive. Sort of, I'll go all out attack and try and whittle down your ship quite a lot, and then go sort of more defensive. Start to play more conservatively. I
and
like him because he's got 8 health, so nothing's going to kill him quickly.
right? So then you could save up for his ult.
Yeah, and then once the ult's ready, just let rip and
Fire away.
go for the kill. As for Baron, I've only had a couple of games. I can certainly see where he's going to be useful. I'm thinking mainly the South Pole, the South Pole map with the healing tile in the middle.
Right? Yes.
Because his ultimate knocks you back 2 squares, so that's straight away from the healing tile onto the death square. If you use that.
Right,
But-
and Baron came out just today,
Well,
so
he came out today, so yeah, I've
you
not
haven't
had
played
that
too much.
time to play with him, but I can certainly see where he would be useful. But I don't know yet how useful he's going to be and how much I'm going to like him. He seems a little bit too weak for me.
Right, that's I actually looked at him too, and he has 5 HP, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's not an awful lot, and I'm thinking as well he can only attack in straight lines, so he's vulnerable from the
Like
diagonals.
from angles, yeah.
Yeah, you move a Harlequin in there, or even a bug. If a bug gets a lucky couple of crits on him from a
Exactly.
diagonal,
And he's gonna die fast. so.
he's in trouble. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Time will tell on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll play a few games. We'll see how it goes. I also don't like the fact that like he's another champion that does 1 to 2 damage and it's pretty much random. It's luck.
Yeah,
And that's even though I know he's not supposed to be used as as a critical damage guy. To do a lot of damage. He's supposed to like more to control the map. But just the fact that it's random, I hate that because
yeah, it's difficult sometimes to know whether you can. That's why I don't use Bug and Mary all that often, because you can't guarantee the damage. And Baron, especially, all 3 of his skills are 1
random.
to 2.
Yeah, they're 1
Yeah,
to 2.
so it's difficult because if you get on a bad streak, and you hit ones repeatedly, it can take you 3 turns to kill even a 5 health champion. Which we've all, if you play enough games, you're going to get on that kind of run where you just can't
Yeah.
get critical and can't do the 2 damage, and then it can end up costing you if you're depending on it. I suppose that's part of the risk of the game, though.
I agree. I hate when that happens, when you just keep one hitting. It's like, come on. I've been one hitting like 2 times, 3
Crossing your
times.
fingers, saying, "Please be a 2, please be a 2."
Right, and then it ends up being a 1. It's like, no, I just lost my game. All right, moving on. Question number 7. Oh, this is my favorite question, actually. Are you nervous that Huntsman will beat you in a match one day?
Ooh.
No. Think for a little bit before you answer this one.
Yeah, well,
Well, I actually beat
I
you
don't
one
know.
already.
I think you have beat me.
Yeah,
once,
you
haven't
quit that one, remember?
I did, yeah. I wouldn't let you beat me. I had to resign.
All right, so
But,
number 2. I guess are you afraid that I'm gonna beat you the second time? I think I
Beat
only
me
beat you
again.
once.
No, there's no evidence that's going to happen yet. But no, I'm kidding. But seriously though, it is quite tough because at the moment you don't know who you're going up against.
Yeah,
A lot of
'cause
the-
random,
a lot
'cause
of the
not
new
enough
players
players.
are. Yeah, there's no actual. I mean, I know there's ranks in there and there's leagues in there, but there's still so many new players and new names popping up that you don't know who you're up against. You don't know how good they're going to be, and it is quite difficult because you're playing a new name every time, a lot of the time, and you don't have chance to. And like I've played you now that many times that I kind of have a certain idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to play, and the same's true again for a lot of the other
Right.
players who are in the higher division.
Exactly. That's why I asked you like, what's your opening your strategy when you open up, because you can tell that I always saw you always do your Lady Aurora and then Harlequin, and then if I put anyone near it, I always lose him because you go with the Aurora and then the Harley just comes across and takes him
and it
away.
goes for the kill. But no, it's plus it also it hurts a hell of a lot when I lose, so I try not to lose that much because obviously it hits your ranking quite badly. I mean, if you lose to a player who's ranked bronze, then you're losing 16. I think it's 16 points you lose off your ranking, and that's not saying bronze players are bad because there's a lot of new players coming in who are really really good and they've just not played enough games to get ranked properly yet.
Exactly.
it's,
And then if you beat someone, you only get what, like 4, 6 points?
4 points. So it's 4 points if you beat a bronze player, and it goes up from there. So it's taken me a hell of a long way to get to where I am at the moment.
I see. I mean, 490 league points. Jesus.
Yeah, I think that's off the bat. I think 223 matches won, it says. So that gives
Oh,
you an idea of how
wow.
many. I must have played maybe 250.
And you say you're married, right?
Yeah.
I think you gotta spend time more with your wife than playing games. All right, moving on. Question number, what are we? 8. Question number 8. What would you like to see slash improve in Arena of, so far how it is?
Hmm.
What do you think, they could add in, make it a little bit better? Obviously, it's still in the, they're still
Yeah,
working on it, but
it's difficult to say because it is such an early development stage. But I mean, I'm looking forward. I'd really like to see some kind of team building. Well,
yeah,
teams
like, yeah,
developing
2v2, 3v3s.
Yeah, or even potentially just a separate league where you're in a guild or a team if you like, and your matches against other people count towards your team's ranking as well. So it's a little bit like, I don't know if you follow Formula One racing, but you have a drivers' championship and then you have a team championship as well. So you have individuals who win things, and you also have a winning team at the end of the
whole
season.
team, yeah.
Yeah, so it's something like that, something to bring people together, because at the moment it's just very much
It's
random.
yeah,
Whoever
very
plays
like
whoever, and then you're just kind of chatting in the window at the bottom.
right, because it's all just you. It's only you versus someone else. That's it. There's no team.
Yeah.
You can't I mean, there's strategy, but it's only strategy for yourself. You can't
Yeah.
play with someone.
Yeah,
So
there's no sort of, so I'd like to see some of that. But I mean, when we did the developer event the other night, playing against the developers, and we was talking about it then, and they were saying that it's something like that's potentially in the pipeline, but it's still very early on at the moment. So.
right. Did they say anything about bringing a spectator button? Because that's what I want.
Oh, that was the thing I forgot to ask. I
That's
knew
what
there was something.
That's what I need. I need a spectators button. So like right now, how we doing this video, I could just spectate someone, and we could have a nice
Just
game
sit there
going
and
on.
watch them and scout them out before you play them.
Right.
I mean, it's something like that would it'd be common sense. I would hope they would put something like that in.
I
Again,
hope so too, and I even put in the forums. I think I asked them to do to put a spectators button. I mean,
yeah, I mean it must be in the line as well. A way to play friendly matches against people you know.
right? Yeah, that's a pain in the ass to match up.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, at the moment you've just got to kind of both press the button at the same time and hope you get matched up. And then again, if you want to play your friend, I want to play my wife, whatever.
Right. See, this is the one thing that I think they should have implemented, like as the start of the game, because there's a lot of people. You go and you want to play against friends, and then you find out that you can't, or they don't know how to, and it kind of turns them off.
Yeah, I think I don't feel that it's all that. While it's easy to get into, I don't feel that it's all that friendly to new players at the moment. It feels very you feel very alone when you come into the game. There's not
Exactly.
really a hell of a lot there in terms of tutorial, and you're just kind of thrown in at the deep end. And if your first match, you go up against one of the better players in your first match when you don't really know what you're doing, you get spanked off the board. You potentially might not want to go back for a second match.
Right.
And
Because there's no tutorial. Just kind of go. You learn stuff on your own, and
yeah.
hope for the best.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I mean, something like just to improve on the social side of things a little bit would be a big thing for me, because I think if you get that right and you can get a good community, then the good ideas will be generated by the community, and it can go off from there.
And actually, I don't know. You ever played StarCraft 2 before?
No, I've never played StarCraft.
Okay, well, see, the cool thing they had was, I think it'd be pretty cool in here to do as well. They had a chat channel, but they had groups in each, like for each chat, I guess, or like category. So I think it'd be pretty cool if you could have a chat for kind of like each champion. You could do like how to play, or you have like Crank,
like that, yeah.
And then people would talk about like the strategy they like to use them as, or how to play Crank. And you could chat,
Yeah, I guess you could drop in and out of the chats you want. So yeah, say you're struggling with your Martel, drop into Martel chat and see how other people use
ask
him,
some
kind of
questions, see how people play them.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Something like that would be good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And finally, do you have any other tips or advice you'd like to share with us? Anything I might have missed or forgot to ask?
I mean, I don't know really. There's so much to the game past the simple.
There is. It's a lot, and I could go on with the questions all day, but
I mean, a big one for me, and this is one I'm guilty of, is try and protect your champions. Try not to just sacrifice them and give up on them, because if you lose a champion, then you're losing you're losing 2 health and you're losing a turn. So unless it's a complete lost cause, you should always try and protect your champions and keep them alive. Would be one thing I'd say, because I tend to see a lot of people just sort of move their champion into range, knowing that they're going to die just to get a 2-point hit on, and it's not worth it. You know, I mean, two points off an Aurora with 7 isn't really going to make that much difference.
Isn't such a deal breaker.
That's a big one. You know, try and keep your champions alive, keep them on the board. Because as soon as you lose one off the board, you've lost a turn, and that's when you start to struggle a little bit because you're playing catch up then.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean,
and then probably another one that's you should pay attention to this one is just always assume that your opponent's got a shockwave.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
I mean, it's the number of times where you're in a really good position, and I do it myself. You're in a fantastic position, and then they move a champion somewhere, and you think, why have they done that? And then you realize the turn after you know exactly why they've done that. It's because they're going to shockwave you off the side of the map.
It's funny because I made a video about what to avoid, and I know I told you to avoid edges, and I know it too. But sometimes especially with the bug, sometimes you just got to get on the edge so you could be close enough without kind of risking him getting hit.
And then that's the risk you take. I remember that video.
And then you end up being by the edge, and then you get shockwaved off.
But I suppose the best piece of advice, if there's any new players playing, is, you know, don't have one game and get beat and give up and never come back. You know, give it a good go. Give it half an hour. Give it an hour. Really play a couple of games. Play the match against the AI bots and get familiar with what the champions can do, and then play a couple of games against people. It doesn't matter if you lose 10, 15 in a row, because it's the first season of a very early alpha game, so no one's going to remember in a month's time that you struggled, and now's the time to get that practice in.
Just have fun. And also I think one of the bigger things is for new players is to, like you said, play the champion, know how much damage they do, and know like how much they can move and the what angles they can attack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, have a look at when you're selecting your champions. If you click on the picture, it actually gives you all the information about all the moves. So make sure you have a look in there before you start.
It does, but then your timer's going down, so you got to know it.
Well, that's true, I suppose. Yeah, it is difficult, but that's why I say play the AI bots first, because it doesn't matter if you lose to them. It doesn't matter if you lose to anyone, but you're not losing anything if you lose to the AI bots. And get used to what each champion can do, and then take it from there and just keep on trying, I suppose. Keep trying to play, because I mean, I got battered the first few times I played, and then sort of gradually started to figure out how to beat people, and it went on from there.
Look at that, you're number 1 masters now. So
yeah, very true.
You just gotta keep playing, keep trying, and you'll get there.
We'll see if I can get 1,000 points, and we'll see if anyone can catch me.
1,000 points, wow, man.
2 weeks.
You're gonna have to keep playing me. You're gonna get like 4 plus 4 plus 4. Also, I got a question about the timer. What do you think of the timer? Do you think it's too short, too long? Is it just right?
I think I'd like it to be a little longer. Not much, but it feels very, very short when it's your turn. I mean, a lot of the times I don't tend to use very much of the time, because I kind of know what I'm going to do on a turn, because I've sort of anticipated what you're going to do. But there are times when I'm trying to, when they make a move that I wasn't expecting or that I wasn't prepared for, and I'm trying to adapt strategy to combat that, it does feel quite short. I mean, I perfectly agree there should be a timer in there, because otherwise you can just get people who just don't want to, they join a match and then just go AFK for an hour.
Right.
And that just sucks. But I mean, for me personally, I'd like it to be a little bit longer so I could have a little bit more of a think. But then again, part of the fun is doing it under pressure when the time is ticking down and you're trying to make your brain think faster and trying to come up with a strategy quickly to combat a move you didn't expect. So I'm fine with how it is. I
agree that that's where you start to make mistakes, and you got to adapt to think faster and
you half form an idea and then go with it because you've only got 5 seconds left, and then it's whether or not that idea pays off.
Right, but and then you make the move, and then it's just like, oh no.
But then again, the opponent's in the same boat. They've got the same problem, and I like to think that I'm giving them a lot to think about in a very short time. So
true. True. All right. Well, you know what, Gamekitty, it was an honor having you. You know, it was awesome. Thanks for all the tips
It's my
that you
pleasure.
gave to us.
No, not a problem. Anytime.
And yeah, and I'll see you in the arena.
I look forward to it, mate.
All right. Sounds good. So everyone else, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it and stay tuned. See ya, guys.